Tulisihultina pukuli tuchina kipisa. Tulisihultina pukuli tuchina kipisa. Okay, I was just going over the weather while you're finding your page. Tawana was the first one to send in today's date and weather, and she says, Laura says, Hoshonti. Justin says, Hoshonti. Justin, you might check on the spelling of Hoshonti, and I have your note. Julie says, Oktobi. Aaron says Kapasichi, and Anthony Kapasa. Okay, on page Pokoli Tuchina. If you have your dictionary handy, I want you to look at these pages or these words on this page. If you don't have your dictionary handy, just jot down the page number on the side in your margin or in your notebook, and then you can look at it later. First, we're going to look on page 374. On page 374 in your dictionary. And I still haven't gone over how to use the dictionary with you, but I will do that. It's still on my list. On page 374 in the right-hand column, you're going to find let's see if I am on the right page. Okay, you're going to find the word Yohmi. It is in the left-hand column at the bottom of the page. And then it tells you see some other entries on the following column, Yohmi. To be so, to do so, and it can be a noun meaning a custom or a fashion. Okay, now let's look on page 96. On page 96, you are looking for Cha, C-H-A. And you're going to find that at the bottom of the left-hand column. It says it's a conjunction, meaning and usually connects two verbs which have the same nominative. Cha is also used at the close of some questions, as in Haklo Cha. It seems to refer at times to something not looked for or expected. Looking at Cha, where it says it means and putting it together with Cha, Yohmi Cha, Yohmi Cha, Another word that also goes with this is na. That's what I was looking for on page 374. But we don't have yohmi na, we have yohmi ma. But I want you now to look on page 263 and 264. You're going to find na, na. And it's going to be on page 264 where it says by means of, because, and it's also classed as a conjunction. This conjunction can also mean and then. So I want you to understand that when we have the word micha or minna, this comes from a combination of the word yo micha, yo minna. So this is where we get the word micha. Micha. And I bring this to you because if you look in the dictionary for the word micha, you will not find it. You will not find the word micha in the dictionary because it is a combination of two words, or a word and a particle. Yohmi means as it means to do, and cha or na is the word that's going to mean and, showing that something is going to follow when you use the term micha. So this is why we have the word micha for and. In English, the conjunction and is used for virtually all kinds of joinings, nouns with other nouns, verbs with verbs, and so on. And listen closely to the following statement. You might want to highlight this. In Choctaw, there are far more conjunctions, each with a separate use. And we have to learn to make distinctions among the kinds of things we are conjoining. The conjunction micha is used to conjoin noun phrases. It may also conjoin some predicate adjectives and unrelated sentences, but that's not going to be learned until later. And then that last line, it may not be used to conjoin verbs or clauses. It may not be used to join verbs or clauses. So at the top of the next page we see Hoshi micha shoka. Hoshi micha shoka. Chukfi micha okfuchush. Chukfi micha okfuchush. Wakchito micha akanka osi. Wakchito micha akanka osi. Fani humama micha koni losapa. Fani humama micha koni losapa. Then it goes on to say, don't use micha for expressions such as Fred came in and sat down. This is conjoining two sets of verb phrases, and this is going to have a different kind of conjunction. And that's not something we will learn just yet. So in your sentence writing, try not to use micha to conjoin verbs, because that takes a different type of construction in Choctaw. Do you have any questions? Okay, I would like for you to make 2 sentences using the word micha to join subject noun phrases or object noun phrases, or you can use noun phrases in both instances. So I'm going to change that to and or. Make 2 sentences using the word micha to join subject noun phrases and or object noun phrases, and send with your translations, please. And I'll wait for your work to come in. Okay, I think some of you are not understanding the assignment. It says make 2 sentences. Make 2 sentences using the word micha to join subject noun phrases and or object noun phrases. And some of you are sending a noun, or actually 2 nouns or 2 noun phrases conjoined with micha. There is no sentence structure to what you have sent. Keep in mind that when we have sentences, you have a subject, you have an object, and you have a verb. If you make sentences that don't have objects, then all you would need to do is make sure that you use the word micha in your subject noun phrase that's going to have 2 nouns in it. And like I said, keep in mind that a sentence has parts, has 2 basic parts, and if you have an object, then it's going to have the 3rd part. A sentence will consist of a subject and a predicate, whether it's an action word or an adjective. So I'm going to show you, I can get pulled up here, a sentence that has a subject noun phrase, an object noun phrase. Okay, let's look at this one. I'm going to go ahead and use the past tense marker. Allah nakniyat ofi pinsatuk. Allah nakniyat ofi pinsatuk. This is a very basic Choctaw sentence. Here is your subject, Allah nakni. I'm going to go ahead and add yat because it does translate as the. And then here you have your object, ofi, and then you have your verb, pinsatuk. Subject, object, and verb. Okay, let's expand on this. And we're going to add something to the subject noun phrase. I'm going to also add to the object noun phrase. So here we have Allah nakni chaha et ofilosa pinsatuk. Here again, always look for that subject marker. And you can even section it off from the rest of the sentence, so that will help you understand the complete subject in this sentence. Allah nakni chaha yet. Instead of just the boy, here we have the tall boy. The tall boy. And then we have added losa to the word ofi. Ofi losa pinsatuk. The tall boy saw a black dog. In the first one, we just had the boy saw a dog. So here you can expand those noun phrases and add as many as you would like, keeping in context of this is the subject or this is the object. Okay, let's add more to this. And again, always go back to the basics. That's what's going to be helpful to you when you get to this point and you're making those sentences. And when you think of words that do have a specific order they need to be in, you can't just think of words and put them down. They have to be in an order that's going to be understood. And that's what happens in English, and it will be like that in Choctaw. I'm going to erase the top part of this to have more room. So now I have added Alanakni Chaha, Micha Alatik At. Again, you're going to find that subject marker because it shows you that marker, including everything in front of it, is the subject of the sentence. And here we have joined Alanakni Chaha and Alatik with Micha. We don't have an additional I'm sorry, I clicked too many times on my button here. Let me begin this again. Okay, I think I've got it all back down. So we didn't do anything to the object noun phrase. It still stands as Ophilosa. Alana Pichaha Micha Alatika Ophilosa Pisituk. Okay, we have put together two nouns in the subject phrase. So now let's add more. Okay. Here we've expanded the subject noun phrase. Find the subject marker. Right there it is, and it tells you that everything here is going to be part of that subject noun phrase. Here we have added the word osi to alatik. So you have two noun phrases. Alatik, alanakni chaha micha alatik osi is the complete subject noun. Alanakni chaha micha alatik osi yat. Then we've added to the object noun phrase Ophilosa micha katos. Ophilosa micha katos. We have added the word katos and conjoined it with Ophilosa using micha. Ophilosa micha katos. Pinsatok. Okay, we're going to go back in and add to this again. So now we have we have 4 noun phrases in this sentence. Alana ni Chahta, alati kosi, ufilosa, katos lakna. 4 noun phrases. 2 are in the subject position, 2 are in the object position. So this is how you can use the word micha to conjoin these nouns or noun phrases, because you can leave out some of these words and just conjoin 2 nouns. I know the book calls, even if it's only nouns, the book calls them noun phrases. So sometimes that might be a little bit confusing on what you should be looking at or how you should be making your sentences. But it can join nouns. Micha can conjoin nouns or complete noun phrases. You can have a noun and as many modifiers as you want. Can be joined, 2 can be joined with the word micha. Micha meaning the word and. Do you have any questions? Okay, like I said, if you get in doubt about your sentence structure or what word order you should be using, go back and look at the noun phrases and how we built those noun phrases and how we put those noun phrases into complete sentences using that sentence format, subject, object, and verb in Choctaw. In English, you're going to put in the order of subject, verb, and object. So your translations will match. And I do apologize. We'd gone over the sentence structures back in the previous chapter, and I guess I was in error when I moved on to the next chapter, and some of you may feel a little bit lost because you're not understanding the format of the basic sentence in Choctaw versus that of English. And we took noun phrases that we learned in chapter 2 and built those phrases built those sentences using those phrases in chapter 3. Now we're just adding another noun phrase to the subject phrases and to the subject, and also adding another phrase to the object. To answer your question, the word order. Look at the word order. You might go back and review chapter 3 on the proper word order of a Choctaw sentence versus the word order of an English sentence. That will help you. You have the words, but they do have to be in a proper word order in order to be a complete sentence. Okay. Do you have any questions? I can certainly go over this again to show you and go back maybe to chapter 2 to show you those noun phrases that we built back then, because it's pretty much like I've said before. We learned sounds. We learned that those sounds can make words. Those words can become noun phrases. They become phrases. We call them noun phrases because that's what we're learning now. And those phrases, become sentences, because we can use a noun phrase as the subject of the sentence and or as the object in a sentence. And we learned the word order of those sentences. Now we're adding one more noun phrase to the subject using the word micha as and we're adding one more noun phrase to the object using the word micha or and. Does anyone else have any questions? And the thing that I wanted to stress is that sentences. Sentences was the key word in your assignment. Sentences. Not just phrases using the word micha to conjoin the two phrases, but to make complete sentences. So if you feel like you want to redo those noun phrases that you sent in, put them into sentence format, whether you use them as the subject of that sentence or if you use them as the object in that sentence. Or you might combine all four of them and make one sentence like you see here. Because like I said before, there's a noun phrase here. I'm sorry, I didn't make that right. There's a noun phrase here, there's a noun phrase here, there's a noun phrase here, and a noun phrase here. And in the subject position, these two are conjoined with micha. In the object position, these two are conjoined with micha. But here, let me go ahead and erase these marks. But here, in the Choctaw is your subject. Here is your object. And here is your verb. The proper word order of a Choctaw sentence: subject, object, and verb. Okay, I hope showing you the simple sentences and building on that is helpful to show you that you can add words, you can add modifiers to a noun phrase and make them as long as you choose it to be. And then if you want to add another one, then you can use the term micha to conjoin these two. I know sometimes the book doesn't, it's kind of sparse as far as the information it gives, and it just tells you that it doesn't tell you about making the sentences, but since we had learned sentence structure and having noun phrases as the subject or the object, I thought you would pick up and make those sentences. Okay, you're welcome. So, do y'all feel like we need to stay here for another lesson and look more at micha and how it can be used in a sentence? Do you feel like we need to stay here for another lesson? Okay, if you will mark your page for 31 under dual and plural verbs. And we'll begin there when we come back on Friday. And we'll certainly continue looking at how the noun phrases can be conjoined with nija. And I will see you guys on Friday. Peace, Lachki.